But we are live.
We're live.
And I just got my results back from surgery.
What did they say?
You got to stick around to the end to find out. Hey, y'all, my name's Halisi.
And I'm Rick. Welcome to our Black Utopia.
On our channel, we talk about money, travel, and life abroad. We help folks who look like us, who are getting close to retirement age and forgot to plan, get their money straight so that they can retire on time or maybe even early.
Early is a good thing, and abroad is even better. Early and abroad.
What are we talking about today, sweetheart?
Today we're going to talk about surgery in Portugal, and she's going to let you know what happened.
Healthcare in Portugal, y'all, because everyone always asks us about healthcare. Every time we talk about living abroad, every time we suggest different countries, different cities around the world, the first questions out of newbies' mouth is, but the healthcare, but the healthcare, but the healthcare. And 95% of the time, these folks are logging in from those United States, where y'all have some of the worst healthcare in the whole wide world. Y'all have some of the most expensive healthcare in the whole wide world.
Just because it's expensive doesn't mean it's the best.
Nope. Sometimes you pay for what you get, and sometimes you just overpay. And that's what y'all doing in the United States. But first, if you're new to our channel, then you might not know. Back in 2018, Rick and I got a wake-up call. We were getting close to retirement age, and we forgot to plan, y'all. We looked at our money, and it looked crazy. But we got our financial act together, and we went from negative 22,000 to just about 1.1 million in net worth, as long as the melon felon doesn't keep doing what he's doing. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, please subscribe. Stop lurking around and subscribe. Hit that notification bell twice so that you know every single time that we go live or drop a new video. All right. And if you like this material,
give it a thumbs up.
Give it a thumbs up, y'all. All right. So I'm sorry, you guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post pictures and video. Today was my father's memorial, and I did not pull the video and the pictures that I wanted. I've got them on my, but I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
Actually, we just got done with her father's memorial.
Exactly. So what I'm going to do is I've got some pictures, because I was in the pre-ops filming, y'all. I was filming. So I will post that in the community. So everyone who's a member will see the video and the pictures that I post from the surgery. But so I went for surgery about it's 2 weeks ago. This Tuesday.
About 2 weeks.
2 weeks ago Tuesday. And first of all, I would not have gone to surgery had I been in the United States.
No.
And the reason why is because the test that I received to find out that there was a reason that I needed surgery would not have been authorized in the United States. It was just a sonogram. And here in Portugal, where we live, sonograms for your annual, when you're a female, are compulsory. They're part of the standard thing, right? So that you preventative, not just reactionary. Hello, y'all, right? And so I was just going for my annual physical, doing the things that women do, right? We've got we've got a few different things. Y'all got a few different things that I wouldn't want to do. But and so if I were in the United States, it would have been the same thing. I'm not going to say these words. Y'all know them. You all know the girly things that you had, exams that you have to get, in addition to all the rest of the blood tests and the yada, yada, yada. But here, sonograms on both girly parts, and sonograms found some stuff. So I would not have been getting that surgery had I been in the United States. Now, here's the deal in Portugal and how it works. We have private health insurance. As immigrants to Portugal, you have to have private health insurance. And so I went to a private hospital. And so the cost for the surgery, the total cost for the surgery without insurance, here's the thing about Portugal and a lot of other countries, y'all. I knew exactly how much I would be paying in total before I even walked into the hospital. They called me, told me how much I had to show up with insurance and without insurance. All right. And so I knew, and this is the total amount, right? And so the total amount was €3,400, €3,400 for full surgery. It was surgery because I went under, like thing
Yeah.
down my
Hey,
throat under,
yeah.
right? So it was 4 hours, something like that. Um,
I was there all day. I know that.
exactly.
I even took a lunch.
Exactly. So it was surgery, and I don't think I appreciated how serious it was. I don't think I did. So the total cost was €3,400 without insurance. With our insurance, it ended up costing, I want to say, something like €327. So I don't know. I don't know what the exchange rate is right now, and it depresses me too much to figure it out. But €327, and this is August 2025. So that's probably about $400. That was my cost. $400 total. And I had to get pricked, so that they could put an IV in
Mm-hmm.
me and all of that, the whole 9 yards. And then they fed me afterwards to get my blood sugar back up and all of that, right? And then the labs for the test results from the surgery and all of that, my portion, or my portion that we paid, was 300 and something euros. Now, before I was able to get the surgery, and I've never gotten surgery before, so this is probably standard even in the United States, I wouldn't know. I had to get a battery of tests to make sure that I was healthy enough to go under anesthesia. And so I had to get two different types of EKGs and a chest X-ray, and then all of that had to be evaluated, and I had to meet with the anesthesiologist. And so he went over my blood work, and then those test results, and then of course cleared me, obviously, because I
Mm-hmm.
had the I had the surgery, but also did some other doctoring, right? He looked at my blood results and said, oh, you know what, you need to be eating a little bit more red meat and blah blah whoop de whoop. Yeah. So this was the kind of service that I got. But here, now let's talk about the bad part before I get into the surgery part. Here's the bad part. You never necessarily know, well, we don't anyway, where exactly you're supposed to check in.
Mm-hmm.
They're good. They send you emails and they send you texts and ask for your confirmation. And then they have these kiosk machines. They have receptionists too, and you can go to a human
Yeah,
being.
they have information people walking around also.
True, true.
Yeah.
But everywhere in Portugal, y'all, you got to take a number, and the hospital is no exception, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
at COOF, you go to the kiosk, and they have different services. Maybe you just are there to pay, or whoop de whoop, right? And so you pick the one for the service that you're in. You put in your tax ID number, your NIF, and then from your NIF or your SNS or your national health number, it will pull up your appointments and
Yeah.
then tell you where to go. And
Right.
then it'll print out a little ticket, with a number on it, and that's your number for all the appointments that you have that day. It's the same number. It's that now that is efficient and that is cool. But if some things you don't check in at the main check-in, you check in at their check-in. And I never know which one. But I know if it doesn't tell me where to go, then I got to go to someplace else. And then that's where I got to start asking questions in fala English. Fala English. Do you speak English? And the information people usually
Well,
do.
then the different floors too. Always they tell you where you're supposed to be going on different things. Like the surgery floor was the second floor.
But see, I've never had any medical stuff. So is this, like, to me, this is just a procedure.
Yeah, but it's the surgery, and the surgery is done on this floor.
Right.
Examinations are
That
done on
floor.
this floor. Radiology,
Yep.
to get X-rays and stuff are done
Over
usually
there.
on the bottom floor, all over.
Imaging.
Yeah, imaging.
So,
So
I mean, he's been going to Kuf a lot longer than I, but I'm telling you, these are some of the things, if you want to live abroad, these are some of the things that you have to prepare for as far as patience goes and giving yourself grace. Because even though you can tell by what I'm saying, I believe that I've gotten excellent care. The administrative part is a bit frustrating. Just because one, I've got, sometimes I don't change it to English, and then what am I looking at, and blah blah whoop de whoop. So there's that. Um, so getting to the surgery, they brought me in, and I had a personal room, or a personal cubicle, I should say, with draperies and all of that, with a locker and everything. And that was pre-ops. And so in pre-ops, they have you back there and you're kind of chilling. He said, feel free to, watch YouTube on your phone or whatever, whatever. In the meantime, they were taking my vitals to make sure that I was still healthy, and and then getting that IV and all of that in me. And so I sat back there, or laid back there actually, until I started dozing off. So maybe about 30 minutes. And then next thing I know, they're wheeling me out into the surgery area. And so they wheeled me out into the surgery area. It was freezing. You only have that paper robe on, y'all. You only have that paper robe on. It was freezing. And I just remember laying there, and I was just so cold. And I was a little nervous. Again, I've had a child, but other than that, I've never had surgery. And so I remember laying there, and I was freezing. I was trying to like maneuver the little paper blankets. No, actually, they were little sheets, little thin sheets. I was trying to maneuver the sheets and stuff. And I remember this Black nurse passing by, and she asked me in Portuguese if I needed help. And I told her I was cold. She said, okay. And then walked away. And I was like, no, okay. Came back with this like portable heater thing with like a vacuum tube, and put the vacuum tube thing under the sheets and
to
blew
warm,
hot
send you
air.
warm air.
And she blew hot air in. Y'all, I was so thankful. I started crying. That's how pitiful I was. I started crying. I'm like, obrigada, obrigada. And she was like, are you okay? Oh my gosh. But it felt so, 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 so good. So I don't know. I was only there for about 10 or 15 minutes while they were finishing somebody else up in our, and my doctor was coming. Then they wheeled me into surgery. They were talking to me about where I was from in the United States, and this is that and the other. And they said, okay, good night. And I was like, huh? And next thing I know, I was waking up in post-ops. I do remember them taking that thing out of my throat, though, that tube. I don't remember them putting it in. But when they took it out, I was like, ouch, stop that. I remember that. And then I kind of went back under. um, they wheeled me into back out into the after operations, where we're kind of waking up,
Post-op.
and post-op, thank you baby, and kind of waking up and all of that. They brought back that heater and put the heater back underneath me, because they realized I'm a little bit anemic, and so I get cold easily, which is probably why the guy said I needed, or the anesthesiologist said I need to eat more red meat. um, Everyone was so nice. Everyone was so kind. The doctor came over to me. I was so groggy. I was trying to keep my eyes open. And she said, I just want to tell you, I saw nothing that gives me concern. And I was like, that's all I could do. And so she disappeared, and then came back. I don't know how long later. And then I was coming to by that time, and she gave me more information and told me what had happened, and what they did during the surgery. And then asked if I had any questions. Gave me her personal email, her Gmail, and said if I have any questions, if I'm in any pain, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, etc., to email her directly. And then they wheeled me back into the outer room of post ops, and asked me what I would like, and gave me a choice between different juices and different snacks. with butter, with this, with that. I was like, because I hadn't eaten. I had been fasting for almost 24 hours at that point. So I sat back there and ate and stuff, and then got dressed and met Rick.
Came out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they texted you.
I was getting texts through everything that was going on, from the moment when they took you in. I got a text saying that they're taking you into operation. Uh, and then I got a text saying that you were out of operation and you were in recovery.
Exactly.
And, then I got another text, I think, that said that, it would probably, maybe I talked to you by then. You
Perhaps.
texted me and
I think I
said that,
did. Yeah, that I
yeah.
was finished, that I was coming out, right? And so, look, and I'm not saying that the healthcare here is the quality is great. I'm not. That goes without saying. But if you have an emergency and you end up in a public hospital, and it's not a serious emergency, it's just like it's an emergency to you, but nobody else would look at you and see emergency. I heard the wait is ridiculous. And I'm going to be honest. I heard the wait is ridiculous. But I have to say that the service that I received, um, you know, even taking into consideration that I don't totally understand the system and the processes and how it works here in Portugal, I have to say I
Mm-hmm.
received excellent service. And then the test that I had to get before surgery, the two ECGs and the what else did I have to get? Oh, the X-ray. All of that came to about €65. So it was 300 and something for the surgery, plus another like €65 for the pre-tests for the surgery. So no more than €400 out of pocket. That's not bad.
No,
That's not bad.
not at all.
So, hey, Antonia, I see you. And so, for those of you who have stuck around, thankfully, all of the tests have come back negativo so far. And so, good news, it was negative. And so, for those of you who are members, I'm going to post some video and pictures from the behind the scenes, me looking crazy, y'all. Look, I look ratchet. Be kind.
I haven't seen the videos yet.
Be kind. But I will post those for members in the community here on YouTube. All right, y'all. We love you. And look, healthcare in Portugal and healthcare in other countries around the world oftentimes is better than it is in the United States.
Yeah.
Most times is less expensive than it is in the United States. So I'll just give you a rundown of the costs. So our annual insurance for both of us costs €2,000. €2,000 or €180 per month for both of us of a certain age and with pre-existing. My out of pocket for the pre-op stuff was about 60, €65, something like that. 300 and something was out of pocket for the surgery itself. And that's it. I'm done. I'm not going to get any more bills from this place or that place or this place or that place. Everything is transparent and is upfront. And to be perfectly honest, we were capable, and I was willing to go ahead and pay that €3,400 if our insurance was trying to act stupid, and then I would have canceled them. But I would have canceled them.
But
they didn't. They came through and said, yes, this is.
I think they had questions at one point.
Yeah.
And the doctor gave them the information they needed, and they said, "Oh, okay, fine."
Exactly. And so let me tell you about something else. So we work with Serenity Care. They are a healthcare concierge. And it was taking a little while to get that pre-existing. I mean that
okay.
The okay from the insurance company, because I didn't. First of all, it's all in Portuguese. So when I'm logging in, I'm putting it in Google Translate and this and that and the other, and sometimes it translates fine and sometimes it doesn't. So I reached out to Serenity, who helped us get that insurance, and she reached out to the broker who works with that insurance. And then we all reached out to COOF, to the hospital. And Serenity and the insurance broker and the admin at Coof. And I've got to call it because he was on point. He was really on point. I can't remember his name right now, but he worked together with Serenity to push and make sure that they had everything, that the insurance company had everything that they needed to get that as quick of a turnaround once I got everybody involved as we could. And once I got everybody involved, I got an answer within a week. And the administrator from the hospital called me and said, "Great news. You're pre-approved. We got an answer just a couple of minutes ago. And so let's get you scheduled. First available, boom, 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 boom." And the administrator from the hospital started scheduling me for the surgery and for the pre-op stuff. So it was a pretty incredible experience, as incredible as a medical surgery can be. Yeah. That's not optional, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So,
but America make you think that everybody is third world compared to them.
Exactly.
And it is just not that way.
It's not. And America is turning into a third world with getting rid of all of the, research money and all of that stuff. Yeah. I don't look, y'all. So negative test results, positive experience. And with that, we will see y'all on Sunday. Bye.